astrologer Wonder Girl, and I'm here to give you your weekly forecast for the week of Monday, April 24th to Sunday, April 30th. Now this week is really the week that things begin to lighten up in the astrology and to move and to be a little bit more flexible and to not be so difficult. A lot of that is because we've got Mars that just moved into Gemini last week. Gemini is a very playful sign, likes to be out and about, likes to do new things, likes to learn a lot of different things, so that's a good sign, for me at least. I am very Gemini, so I love it when planets go through Gemini. On top of that, this big alignment that's been causing a lot of problems lately, which is Pluto squaring Uranus and Jupiter, also some Saturn squares, Venus being on Chiron, is ending. And the end was last week, really, where we had Venus in its retrograde process back all the way up to Chiron, where it squared Saturn, with all of this stuff going on. And now that Venus is going forward again, it is leaving this spot. It's no longer there. Relationships are going to get a lot easier. The things that make you happy, it's going to be a lot easier to pursue those, and it's not going to feel as raw. Now last week we were dealing with some of the aftermath of some of this stuff that was happening, still feeling a little bit uncomfortable with what's going on. This week we're beginning to move past it. Now everything isn't going to be all great, because even though Venus is moving past it and we've got a lot of these planets that were really tight in there in between Pisces and Aries starting to loosen up, we still have Saturn squaring Chiron. Saturn's going backwards and it's backing back up into Chiron. So we're not going to feel quite right about our journey, perhaps about where we're going. We may feel a little bit hurt about life, about some of our commitments and decisions that we've had to make recently, but we're really in a better spot than we think we are moving forward. And so that is the good thing to know about this week, is that things are beginning to lighten up. All the bad things that have happened to you recently that have been uncomfortable, that have been hard, this is the week to really start to try to make sense of all of them. Everything that happened to you, a lot of the stuff that's happening now too is related to the past, because we've got so many planets going retrograde. So now is the time to really try to figure out what all that was, try to get things in order, try to move forward. Okay, now it's not going to be super easy, as I mentioned, because Chiron is there with Saturn, maybe bringing up some hard feelings for you. There's also going to be Jupiter in Libra making a semi-square with the North Node. So even though you're trying to make sense of your relationships, there still may be some frustration that they aren't quite where you want them to go and in the way that you want them to be. So that could be a little difficult too as you try to organize some of these things and get them going. There could also be a lot of communication about what's happening. Last week was especially a big communication week about ourselves and who we are and about things that have been happening to us in the past. Was a big time for us to come out about that, and especially with Mars moving into Gemini, a lot of what's going to happen, in the next few weeks, really, that Mars is in Gemini, is going to be about communication, talking about, who you are and what you want and where you're going, and trying to explore kind of different avenues. So that's going to be a lot of this week. That can make things difficult. There's also this Mars in Gemini is squaring, and this started last week, so it isn't entirely new, the North Node, or the nodes really, and the last degrees of Virgo and Pisces, or the first degrees, since the nodes move backwards through the zodiac. So that means that a lot of what's going on now, you're going to have to decide how you want to act, which way you want your life to go, what makes you happy and joyful, and what you want to explore, and commit to that, and that will help work out some of the problems that maybe you feel as you're moving forward into this new path, new direction that you want, okay? And after this happens, then the nodes are going to move into Leo and Aquarius, which agrees with Gemini a lot better. You're not going to have so much of these issues. So just know that we're kind of dealing with the last little bit of some things before it lightens up and things are much better and much playful. We also have a new moon in Taurus on Wednesday, okay? And this is actually, I think, going to be a pretty good new moon. It's in a positive aspect, a trine to Saturn. So this new beginning that's happening for you in your confidence, it could be, in your personal possessions, in money, and something very physical in your life is going to happen very, very fast to help you with your journey or to affect your life and where you think your life is going, and how you can expand your life. So it's a new beginning. I want to say that's going to be good for how you expand your life, how you move forward, the things that you have physically as an individual that can contribute to this and help you move forward. Around the same time that this new moon in Taurus is happening, we've also got Mercury retrograde in Aries backing up into Uranus, where it was a little bit earlier this month. Doing that whole thing, and that's also in a very positive aspect going on, I believe, with some planets in Pisces. And so we've got some good things going on here. This Mercury and Uranus is going to bring up some unexpected news, perhaps from the past, maybe some news that you needed, that you didn't get, that all of a sudden now is going to come to light in some way. It could also be someone still wanting to break free. When Mercury and Uranus hook up, it's about a freedom aspect, you know, moving forward and pursuing the life that you want, especially when it's in Aries. So there could be some kind of stuff that comes up around that. And finally, at the end of the week, Venus also re-enters Aries again, where we're kind of going back over some territories that we've treaded before to pick up some of the pieces, put everything together, move forward in a better direction that is more true for us and who we are and what we want, before we fully move forward. When things get really exciting. It's kind of like now, the past few months, we needed to make some hard decisions and make some hard cuts to figure out who we are, to figure out what we wanted, to figure out what kind of story we want to have the rest of this year going on. And of course, into January of next year, when it's going to get even harder to make changes and harder to make things, you know, happen, especially with Saturn moving into Capricorn. So now is the time to readjust your life, to make some changes, to be flexible, to try out some new things, and to really let yourself embrace this new life that you're living before January comes. Now, the card for this week is the Eight of Pentacles reversed. I got a new tarot deck. It's called the Lioness Oracle Tarot. It's really pretty. You can see the back. And the Eight of Pentacles reversed is all about paying too much attention to the details. Where do you need to loosen up a little bit? Where do you need to let yourself go on the journey, you know, and have a little bit of fun and stop getting too concerned with what is happening and where and how, you know, especially with Mars moving into Gemini. It wants to explore, it wants to have fun. You know, you need to realize that this is actually a good, fun, exciting time that you're about to come into, and that it's, you know, not as serious as it has been in the past, and to kind of let some things go and free yourself up moving forward. So don't get too caught up in the details. Even though things happen a little hard lately, doesn't mean they're going to be hard forever, and that there's more things to come. And I feel like this will get easier for you as it moves on, as the nodes change signs, because right now they're in Virgo and Pisces, and Virgo was all about order and control, more or less about control, but order and organization and everything being perfect and in the right place. And when the nodes move into Leo and Aquarius, it's less about everything being perfect and more about being happy and showing your heart and being your authentic self. And so you gotta learn to let go, especially in the next year and a half, as the nodes are gonna be moving and in new signs, how to have fun, how to loosen up, how to do what you love, and bring your heart more into what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So that's all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please share or like my videos if you enjoyed watching this, and I will talk to you later.